5 subtle ways women test if you're boyfriend material. What I'm about to reveal might completely change how you interpret every interaction you have with women. Right now, there are women in your life who are secretly testing you, not to be mean or manipulative, but to figure out if you're the kind of man they could actually build a relationship with. I'm talking about sophisticated psychological tests that women run on men they're interested in, often without even realizing they're doing it. These aren't obvious challenges or games. They're subtle observations and situations designed to reveal your true character when you think no one important is watching. Here's what's going to shock you. While you're just trying to have normal conversations and interactions, women are gathering data about who you really are as a person. They're not just deciding if they're attracted to you, they're evaluating whether you have the emotional maturity, integrity, and relationship skills to be worth their time and energy. And the most incredible part, you're probably failing tests you don't even know you're taking. Every response you give, every choice you make, every way you handle unexpected situations is being analyzed for clues about what kind of boyfriend and potential partner you would be. The women who run these tests aren't being calculated or manipulative. They're being smart. They understand that anyone can be charming for a few hours, but real character shows up in unguarded moments and subtle interactions. They're looking beyond surface attraction to determine if you're someone they could actually trust, respect, and build something meaningful with. So let me ask you this. As I go through these 5 ways women test if you're boyfriend material, how many of these situations have you encountered recently? Because if you recognize these scenarios, there's a woman who's been evaluating your potential as a partner, and your responses have been telling her everything she needs to know about who you really are. Test 1. How you handle it when she's having a bad day. This is one of the most revealing tests women use, and most men have no idea it's happening. When a woman is genuinely upset, stressed, or going through something difficult, she's watching very carefully to see how you respond, because your reaction tells her everything about what kind of support system you'd be in a real relationship. But here's the key. She's not just looking at whether you try to help. She's evaluating how you help, whether you can read her emotional needs accurately, and if you have the emotional intelligence to respond appropriately to different types of situations. Some women need someone to listen and validate their feelings. Others want practical solutions to their problems. Some need space to process, while others want comfort and reassurance. The test is whether you can figure out what she actually needs in the moment, rather than just defaulting to what you think she should need. Here's what most men get wrong. They either try to immediately fix the problem with logical solutions, or they get uncomfortable with her emotions and try to change the subject, or cheer her up too quickly. Both of these responses fail the test because they show you're more concerned with your own comfort than with actually supporting her. The men who pass this test do something different. They pay attention to her cues, ask what she needs instead of assuming, and can sit with her emotions without trying to rush her out of them. They show that they can be a steady, reliable presence during difficult times. But there's another layer to this test. She's also watching to see if you take her problems seriously or dismiss them as unimportant. If she's stressed about something you don't think is a big deal, do you minimize her feelings or do you recognize that it's important to her, which makes it worthy of your attention and care? She's also observing whether you remember what she's going through and follow up later. If she mentions a difficult situation on Monday, do you check in about it later in the week? This shows her whether you actually care about her well-being or if you were just going through the motions of being supportive. The women who use this test understand that life includes challenges, stress, and difficult emotions. They need to know that a potential partner can handle these realities with maturity and genuine care rather than running away or making things worse. Pay attention to how you respond when women in your life are upset or stressed. Are you rushing to fix things, getting uncomfortable with their emotions, or actually providing the kind of support they need? Your response to this test reveals whether you're boyfriend material or just someone who's nice when things are easy. Test 2. She observes how you treat people who can't do anything for you. This test is happening constantly, and most men are completely unaware they're being evaluated. Women are watching how you interact with servers, cashiers, janitors, elderly people, children, anyone who has no power to benefit you socially or professionally. Your behavior toward these people reveals your true character when you have nothing to gain. The psychology behind this test is simple but profound. How you treat people when you don't have to tells her how you'll treat her when the honeymoon phase is over, when she's no longer trying to impress you, when she's vulnerable or dependent on your kindness. She's looking for consistency in your character. Are you only charming and considerate with people who can do something for you, or are you genuinely respectful and kind to everyone? Do you make eye contact with the person taking your order? Do you say please and thank you? Are you patient when someone is struggling or moving slowly? But it goes deeper than basic politeness. She's watching to see if you notice people who are often invisible. The person cleaning the tables, the elderly person who needs help reaching something, the parent struggling with crying children. Your awareness of others' needs and your willingness to help when you don't have to reveals whether you're genuinely caring or just performing kindness when it benefits you. Here's what many men don't realize. Women are also watching how you talk about people who aren't present. Do you gossip or speak negatively about coworkers, friends, or family members? Do you mock people for their appearances, choices, or circumstances? This tells her how you might talk about her to others when she's not around. She's also observing your reaction when you witness rudeness or unfairness. If someone is being treated poorly, do you speak up or just ignore it? If you see someone being excluded or picked on, do you intervene or look the other way? Your response to these situations shows her whether you're someone who stands up for what's right or someone who avoids conflict even when it matters. The men who pass this test understand that character is revealed in small moments when no one important is watching. They're consistently kind, respectful, and aware of others because that's who they genuinely are, not because they're trying to impress anyone. But here's the advanced level of this test. She's watching how you handle situations where being kind might be inconvenient or costly for you. Will you help someone even if it makes you late? Will you stand up for someone even if it might create conflict? Will you do the right thing even when it's not easy? Women use this test because they need to know that your kindness and respect are authentic, not just tools you use to get what you want. They need to trust that you'll treat them well even when they're not at their best, even when they can't do anything for you, even when no one else is watching. Test 3. How you react when things don't go according to plan. This test reveals everything about your emotional regulation, flexibility, and problem-solving skills under pressure. Women will either create situations where plans change unexpectedly, or they'll carefully observe how you handle it when life naturally throws curveballs your way. Maybe the restaurant you picked is closed, the movie is sold out, traffic makes you late, or something she was looking forward to gets canceled. Your response to these situations tells her whether you're someone who can adapt and make the best of things, or someone who gets frustrated and ruins everyone's mood when things aren't perfect. Here's what she's really evaluating. Can you handle disappointment and unexpected changes without taking it out on her or other people? Do you get angry, blame others, or shut down when things don't go your way? Or do you stay calm, look for solutions, and maintain a positive attitude? But there's a deeper layer to this test. She's watching to see if you can turn potentially negative situations into positive experiences. When plans fall through, do you get creative and suggest alternatives? Do you find ways to make the best of unexpected circumstances? Can you laugh about things that go wrong and help her see the humor in the situation? She's also observing whether you blame her when things go wrong, especially if she was involved in the planning. If she suggested the restaurant that turned out to be closed, do you make her feel bad about it? If she's running late, do you get passive-aggressive or understanding? Your response tells her whether you're someone who supports her through difficulties or someone who makes her feel worse. The psychology behind this test is crucial. Life in a relationship involves constant changes, disappointments, and unexpected challenges. She needs to know that you're someone who can handle these realities with grace and maturity, rather than someone who falls apart or becomes difficult when things aren't perfect. Women are also testing whether you can maintain perspective when minor things go wrong. Do you treat small inconveniences like major disasters? Do you let traffic jams or restaurant mix-ups ruin your entire mood? Your ability to distinguish between minor annoyances and real problems shows her your emotional maturity. But here's what makes this test even more revealing. She's watching to see if you prioritize your own comfort and plans over her feelings and experience. When something goes wrong, are you more concerned with being inconvenienced, or are you focused on making sure she still has a good time? The men who pass this test understand that flexibility and adaptability are essential relationship skills. They stay calm under pressure, look for solutions rather than dwelling on problems, and can find ways to enjoy themselves even when things don't go according to plan. Pay attention to how you handle unexpected changes and disappointments. Are you someone who goes with the flow and makes the best of things? Or do you get stressed and difficult when life doesn't cooperate with your plans? Your response to this test shows whether you're emotionally mature enough for a serious relationship. Test 4. She watches how you handle success and recognition. This might be the most subtle test of all, but it's incredibly revealing about your character and how you'd behave in a long-term relationship. When you achieve something, get recognition, or experience success, she's carefully observing how you handle it, because your response tells her whether you're someone she can build a life with or someone whose ego might become a problem. She's looking for several key things in how you deal with positive attention and achievements. First, she's watching to see if success makes you arrogant or if you stay humble and grounded. Do you start talking down to people or acting like you're better than others when things go well for you? Or do you maintain the same respectful, kind demeanor regardless of your circumstances? But there's something even more important she's evaluating. Do you share credit and recognition with others who contributed to your success? Or do you act like you accomplished everything on your own? This tells her whether you're someone who appreciates other people's contributions and support, or someone who takes all the credit and minimizes others' help. She's also watching how you treat her when you're experiencing success. Do you include her in your celebration and make her feel like she's part of your achievements? Or do you get so caught up in your own success that you forget about the people who have been supporting you? Your behavior shows her whether she'd be a true partner in your life or just an accessory to your accomplishments. Here's the deeper psychology. She needs to know that your success won't threaten your relationship or make you feel like you're too good for her. Many relationships fail when one person achieves success and starts to believe they deserve someone better. She's testing whether you're someone whose character remains stable regardless of your external circumstances. She's also observing whether success makes you more generous and appreciative or more selfish and entitled. When things are going well for you, do you look for ways to lift others up and share your good fortune? Or do you become more focused on yourself and less aware of other people's needs? But here's what makes this test particularly revealing. She's watching to see if you can handle being happy and successful without becoming complacent or taking your relationships for granted. Success can make some people lazy in their personal relationships because they assume their achievements make them inherently valuable partners. The men who pass this test understand that success is often a team effort, and that maintaining strong relationships requires consistent effort regardless of external achievements. They stay humble, share credit, include others in their celebrations, and use their success as an opportunity to be more giving rather than more demanding. Women also watch how you handle other people's success. Are you genuinely happy when good things happen to your friends, family, or even her? Or do you get competitive, jealous, or try to minimize their achievements? Your ability to celebrate others' successes without making it about yourself shows her whether you're secure enough to be a supportive partner. Pay attention to how you behave when things are going well in your life. Are you someone who stays grounded, shares credit, and includes others in your success? Or do you get a big head and start treating people differently? Your response to good fortune reveals whether you have the character to maintain a healthy relationship through all of life's ups and downs. Test 5. How you handle her boundaries and the word no. This is perhaps the most important test of all, and it reveals everything about whether you're someone who can be trusted with her emotional and physical safety. Women are constantly evaluating how men respond when they set boundaries, express preferences, or say no to requests, because your reaction tells her whether you respect her autonomy or see her as an obstacle to what you want. This test starts with small things. Maybe she doesn't want to go to a particular restaurant, doesn't feel like watching a certain movie, or needs to end a phone conversation early. Your response to these minor boundaries tells her how you'll handle bigger ones later. Do you accept her preferences gracefully, or do you argue, sulk, or try to convince her to change her mind? But the test goes much deeper. She's watching to see if you can hear no without taking it personally or making her feel guilty for having boundaries. Many men make women feel bad for saying no, either through direct arguments or subtle guilt trips. The men who pass this test understand that no is a complete sentence and doesn't require justification. She's also evaluating whether you respect her boundaries, even when you don't understand them. Maybe she doesn't want to share certain personal information, doesn't feel comfortable with certain types of physical contact, or needs space to think about something. Do you respect these boundaries even if they don't make sense to you? Here's the crucial psychology. A woman's ability to say no and have that boundary respected is fundamental to her feeling safe in a relationship. If you can't handle small rejections gracefully, she has no reason to believe you'll respect bigger boundaries around things that really matter to her. She's watching your body language and emotional response when she sets boundaries. Do you get angry, frustrated, or withdrawn? Do you try to negotiate or find loopholes in her boundaries? Or do you accept them calmly and move on to something else? Your reaction tells her whether you see her as an independent person with valid preferences or as someone whose job is to accommodate your wants. But there's an even more sophisticated level to this test. She's observing whether you remember and respect her boundaries over time, or if you keep testing them, hoping she'll change her mind. If she's told you she doesn't like something, do you bring it up again later, or do you accept her position and respect it going forward? Women also test whether you can set and maintain your own healthy boundaries. If you can't say no to unreasonable requests or stand up for your own needs, it suggests you might become resentful or expect her to sacrifice her boundaries because you can't maintain yours. The men who pass this test understand that boundaries aren't rejections. They're information about how to treat someone with respect. They see a woman's ability to communicate her limits as a sign of emotional health, rather than an inconvenience to work around. She's also watching to see if you can distinguish between boundaries and games. Some people use fake boundaries to test reactions or manipulate situations. Men with good character can respect genuine boundaries while also recognizing when someone is being manipulative rather than authentic. Pay attention to how you respond when women set boundaries with you. Do you accept their limits gracefully and respect them going forward? Or do you see boundaries as challenges to overcome or obstacles to what you want? Your response to this test determines whether women see you as safe and trustworthy or as someone to be cautious around. Why these tests matter and what they reveal. Now that we've covered the 5 ways women test if you're boyfriend material, let me explain why these evaluations are so important and what they're really designed to reveal about your character and relationship potential. These tests aren't about women being difficult or trying to trick you. They're about survival and protection. Women understand that choosing the wrong partner can have serious consequences for their emotional, physical, and financial well-being. These subtle evaluations help them identify men who have the character and emotional maturity to be trusted with their hearts and their future. Each test reveals something crucial about your relationship potential. How you handle her bad days shows whether you can provide emotional support during difficult times. How you treat people who can't help you reveals your true character when you have nothing to gain. Your response to unexpected changes demonstrates your emotional regulation and adaptability. How you handle success shows whether your ego will threaten the relationship. And your reaction to boundaries determines whether she can trust you with her safety and autonomy. The beautiful thing about these tests is that they're not about being perfect. They're about being genuine. Women aren't looking for men who never make mistakes or always know exactly what to do. They're looking for men who have good intentions, can learn from feedback, and consistently try to do the right thing even when it's not easy. What this means for you. If you're recognizing these test scenarios in your recent interactions with women, understand that being tested is actually a compliment. Women only invest the energy to evaluate men they're already interested in. If she's testing you, it means you've passed the initial attraction phase, and she's trying to figure out if you're worth pursuing something real with. The key to passing these tests isn't to try to game them or put on an act. The key is to genuinely develop the character traits that make you good relationship material: emotional intelligence, kindness, integrity, flexibility, and respect for others. Focus on becoming the kind of man who naturally passes these tests because that's who you genuinely are. Work on your emotional regulation, practice treating all people with respect, develop your ability to support others during difficult times, and learn to handle success with humility and boundaries with grace. Remember, the woman who's testing you isn't trying to make your life difficult. She's trying to determine if you're someone she can trust with her heart. The highest compliment you can receive is passing these tests not because you're performing, but because you're genuinely the kind of person who makes a great partner.